everybody, I'm Shelby, this is Linus, and welcome back to the Chinchilla Care series. Today we are talking all about cages, but first let's go over the basics of your chinchilla's cage. Your chin's cage is its permanent home where it spends almost all of its time, aside from coming out to visit and having playtime. So of course we want our chins to have lots of space and lots of things to do. Chins should never ever be free-roam pets. They eat everything and anything in sight, which makes it really dangerous. Keeping your chin in a nice large cage is safe and necessary. By far the most popular chinchilla cage is the Midwest double unit Ferret Nation or Critter Nation cage. I've recommended these cages so often that my phone automatically recommends one word after the other. Between the two, I actually prefer the Ferret Nation a little bit more because the bars are a little bit stronger and less likely to break. Both of these cages are the same size, measuring 36 by 25 by 49 inches with a divide in the middle. And I personally think this is the appropriate size for a single chin or a pair. But there are plenty of other cage options out there, including making one yourself. I would just use those sizes as reference. Cages can be found online, in-store, or on used sites like Facebook Marketplace. Just make sure you clean them out very well if you get a used cage. The Midwest cages that I recommend on Amazon are about $300, and given the quality and size of the cage, I actually think that's a really great price. Where you put your chinchilla's cage is going to be different for everyone. My chins stay in their bedroom, but someone else might keep their chin in the living space. The most important thing though is that your chinchilla is placed out of direct sunlight, away from heat vents, and not near things like cords and furniture, which are really tempting for them to reach out and chew. And trust me, they will. One of the problems with a lot of cages is wire flooring. Remember, standing on wire is the leading cause of bumblefoot and chinchilla feet, not to mention broken bones from limbs getting caught. But this isn't a reason not to get the cage, you just need to replace the flooring or cover it with fleece or tile. Often, cages will come with plastic shelving and plastic pans, and remember, plastic is never safe to have in your chinchilla's cage. The nice thing though about going with the Midwest cage is it's so popular that there are tons of companies like Chin Chic, Base Equipment, Quality Cage Crafters, Pandemonium Pets, and so many more, who create safe metal pan replacements for these cages. So what exactly do we need to put inside our chinchilla's cage to fill it up? When you buy a cage like a Midwest, it usually comes with some plastic shelving and/or ramps. Of course, we don't want our chins exposed to plastic, and ramps aren't really necessary. So the cage is going to need additional things inside to keep your chin happy and create a safe, engaging environment for them. Chinchillas make best use of vertical space because they are such great jumpers. For this reason, you're going to need plenty of ledges and shelves for them to get around. And of course, we recommend untreated kiln-dried pine or poplar. Lava ledges are another fantastic option, though they don't last long as chins love to chew them, which they're supposed to do. There are honestly so many cool things you can fill your chinchilla's cage with that are safe. Fleece-covered tubes and half pipes, hammocks, hanging cubes, metal ledges, natural perches, bridges, catwalks, and so much more. Also consider adding a large metal wheel to your chin's cage, like a chin spin, so your chinchilla always has access to lots of exercise. Building paths and designing your cage layout is a really fun way to get creative and give your chin a safe, engaging home. There are quite a few different places to find all of these cool things that I mentioned, but a lot of it is online rather than in-store. Very quickly, I'm going to list all of our favorite online stores and Etsy shops so you can find everything I mentioned and then some. Now this stuff is incredibly pricey when you're talking about filling a whole cage or multiple cages. So you might consider investing in some tools and time to learn how to make a lot of this stuff yourself. For example, wooden ledges are really easy to make, and you can get a ton of ledges off of just one piece of wood. And a lot of hardware stores will cut it for you. And as always, make sure you're buying untreated kiln-dried pine or poplar. Sewing with fleece is also super easy, and buying clearance fleece is really fun and so cheap. Everything in the cage has the distinct likelihood of being peed on. While we can certainly train and encourage litter box use, accidents and markings still happen. Anything tile, metal, or glass can be easily wiped down with a vinegar solution, and anything wood can be sanded down or wiped down if it's a fresh accident. Deeply stained wood furnishings, though, should opt to be replaced at some point because you don't want your chin to be standing around on dirty wood all the time. A good solution to this, however, is to keep your wooden ledges wrapped in fleece. And this is really easy to just do yourself. Just a simply cut piece of fleece with lanyard hooks will do the trick. And remember to have plenty of backups so you can swap them out frequently. So now let's talk about bedding, and first up is fleece. Fleece is used to make hammocks, pillows, shelf covers, cage liners, and so much more. Fleece is the only safe fabric you should be keeping in your chinchilla's cage because it's virtually chew-proof without any threads to swallow. There are a lot of different types of fleece out there, but the one that we want for chinchillas is anti-pill. Fleece can be found pretty easily at most fabric stores or online. Buying clearance remnants is my favorite way to buy fleece because it's really inexpensive and it's fun to see what random patterns you're gonna find. Even if you've never sewn anything before, it's really easy to learn, and I think it's personally worth it to learn how to use a sewing machine. However, if you don't have time to learn how to sew, there are plenty of options online to buy pre-made fleece items for your chinchillas. All 4 of our chins utilize fleece in different ways every day. Linus likes to keep a sneaky lookout from his hammock, Knox's favorite place to hang out is his fleece-lined tunnel, and Henry and Chip's favorite place is their hanging cube. If your chin doesn't seem to really want to use their cube or hammock, I would recommend tightening it and adding a pillow for some stability, because often chins don't really want to use something that's wobbling so much. We only change our cube and hammock pillows like once a week, but I'd recommend changing the full pan liner probably once a day or every other day because you don't want your chinchilla to be sitting on dirty laundry. I like to use Arm & Hammer free and clear detergent, but you can use any brand as long as it's low scent or scent free, and same thing goes for dryer sheets. There are of course a few downsides to choosing fleece as your cage bedding. Fleece harbors bacteria much faster than shavings, so cleaning it often is a must. And this is more laundry you'll have to do every week. But fleece looks cute, is easy to change, affordable and cost effective, and a safe way for your chins to cuddle up. Now let's talk about shavings as bedding instead of fleece. Shavings are an excellent option for bedding for most small animals, and honestly, my preferred bedding. Shavings are absorbent, easy to clean, control odor, and provide other stimulation for your chinchilla like digging or chewing. Shavings make it easy to spot clean urine out of a big pan and take longer for bacteria to form than fleece. It's also a great option for litter box training and use. Remember that while spot cleaning is one of the benefits of shavings, you'll still need to do a full dump and clean as well about every week or so. There are 2 safe shaving options for your chinchilla: pine and aspen. Both of these of course need to be from untreated wood that's specifically for pets, but it should also be kiln dried. This information should be explicitly stated on the bag. I've said kiln dried so many times in this video already, you're probably wondering what that means. Kiln dried means the shavings were dried at a very, very high heat, which removes the harmful phenols of the wood. And it makes them super absorbent, perfect for soaking up urine. Another type of bedding on the market is paper bedding, kind of like Carefresh. I don't recommend this bedding because almost all chinchillas will try to eat it and anything paper will create a blockage. Another one to avoid is cedar bedding. This is toxic to chinchillas and you should never ever use it. You can find bedding at your local pet stores or online like Chewy or Small Pet Select. When we buy a bag of bedding, we just keep it open and ready to use. Anywhere away from moisture with good airflow is the perfect place to store shavings. Shavings are honestly very messy and most vacuums can't handle it. Messiness is just part of owning chinchillas and it doesn't bother most people, but it is something to consider when picking out bedding. Another impractical part of shavings is cost. A proper bag of bedding can cost upwards of $20 per bag, and remember when you're done with shavings, you have to just throw them out, whereas fleece can be reused. Now let's talk about one of my favorite things for chinchilla cages, which are tiles. serve so many different purposes in your chinchilla's cage. They can act as cooling surfaces, they can be used as the cage flooring, they can safely hold down fleece to keep it from pulling up, they can fit inside carriers for a cool surface in there too. Tiles are 100% safe for almost any purpose you can think of. The best part about tiles is the easy and affordable access to them. Any hardware store near you, like Home Depot or Lowe's, has plenty of tile options for you to pick from. Just remember to wash them before putting them in the cage because you don't know what kind of junk could have been sitting on them in the hardware store. Tiles can also be placed in the fridge or freezer to get nice and cold for your chinchilla to enjoy. But remember that tiles in your chin cage do not replace the need for air conditioning that is vital to your chinchilla's health. Tiles can easily be taken out of a carrier or cage and cleaned with the same chemicals we use to clean the rest of the cage. Not all chins like being on tile all the time, so make sure that there are other softer options in the cage too, like fleece pillows and hammocks. However, having the bottom of a cage completely tile has become a really popular option since it's so easy to clean and affordable. Now we've got all our cage decisions made, let's discuss how we can safely and effectively clean a chinchilla cage. The type of bedding you use for your chins, tile, fleece, or shavings generally determines how often you should clean the cage. But one constant remains the same, removing the urine frequently. For fleece liners, this means taking out the whole liner and replacing it with a new one. For shavings, this means spot cleaning. And for tile cages, either wiping down the tiles or changing the litter box. Now that we've got the bedding out of the cage, how do we clean it? And with what? My two favorite options for cleaning spray are a 50-50 water white distilled vinegar mix or Nature's Miracle small pet cage cleaner. Both options are really effective and safe for your pet. The Nature's Miracle is a little more expensive, and although it smells a lot better than vinegar, I still just use the vinegar mix. But both are really excellent cage cleaners. I just spray the soiled area and let it sit for a few minutes, then simply wipe it away. For cleaning up around the cage, I love using my shop vac because it can pick up things like bedding, hay, and dust way more efficiently than a regular vacuum. And speaking of vacuuming, don't forget to vacuum up the poops off of your chinchilla's ledges and shelves so that they're not stepping on those hard little Legos constantly. Make sure you keep your cleaning supplies and paper towels away from your chinchilla's play area, but somewhere accessible. It's also easy to forget to remove things from the top of the cage, so I'd make the habit of never setting anything up there in the first place. Remember to launder your fleece items as well as the liners. Some chins, like Chip, pee on everything, and unfortunately that means a lot of backups and a lot more laundry. Keeping wooden ledges clean can be tricky too, as ledge-peeing chins can make certain spots a habit. The best way I've found to keep wood clean from these guys is to actually keep them wrapped in fleece and then just wash the liners often. Or you can get a sand block and remove the soiled areas just by sanding it away. Don't forget to pull your cages back from the wall from time to time and vacuum up that huge mess you had no idea was hiding there. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope this video has been super helpful for anyone looking to get a chinchilla, or maybe you've already got a chinchilla and you just want to upgrade your cage. If you value our content and you want to support us, consider joining us on Patreon. There are monthly gifts, behind the scenes, live streams, and all kinds of other stuff as a thank you to our patrons. Can't wait to see you all in the next care video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.